Want you to join me in a hand of applause to welcome Dr. Job Mogire, our coach in Return 90. Welcome, Dr. Welcome, Dr.
Good morning, everyone. I am excited to see all of you. We have a bonus day upon us. Gladys, thank you so much. You have no idea how big a difference you've made in terms of the experience of Return 90. I am so grateful, and I hope everyone else that has participated in the 5-day Return Challenge is excited to walk together with you through the actual Return 90, because this was a foretaste. There will be a core component that will be part of Return 90, and I wanted you to have an experience of it now. As soon as I sort out, I would love to be able to see. I would love to see more of you on video, if that's possible. I would love to see more of you on video, because I have set it to hide non-video participants. So if it might be seeing 2 or 3 people, so it's preferably if I could see more of you, that would be great. Fantastic. All right. So this is so Return 90 has such a long story behind it, and the deepest story that led me back there is a story with my uncle, my mother's father. He was I'm so sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. My mother's brother, elder brother. He passed on when I was in medical school, but I had interacted with him really closely. He was my favorite person in the world. And he lives a couple of hills away from the village that I call my home. And that is where that big river that passes through Kisii land and goes all the way to Lake Victoria, the river called River Kuja, passes through. So his land goes all the way and hits the river, and it's a big section of his land along that river. And every single time, whenever he had something significant going on in his life, he always went down to the river. And he had this belief that in life, his most important job, whatever happened in his life, is for him to find what is called Engako. Now, Engako, along the river, it's that space where either between rocks or behind a tree stump, behind some kind of obstacle, where despite how fast the river is moving, there is an area where the water is calm and slower. And if you're going to fish, you don't find fish at the center of the stream. You find the fish in Engako. In English, we call it an eddy. The eddy is so unique that sometimes the water in the eddy is actually moving in the opposite direction before it circles and settles down. And what the fish do is they come there to rest, they come there to eat, they come there to reproduce, they come there to position themselves to catch food that is flowing along with the stream. And when they want to swim further, they rejoin the stream from Engako. They don't come to Engako to rest. They join the stream to swim from a position of rest. And I think that is an extremely important reframe for all of us, that the challenge for us now, especially because we live during a time when there is just so much going on, we are bombarded with information from all directions, stimulation from every sense. Every little event that happens in Africa, forget about Kenya, in Africa, you can learn about it. If there is a kidnapping, if there is a bombing, if there is a fire, if there is an accident anywhere in the country, in East Africa, there's a war, there is a coup d'etat. You learn about it. So there's almost too much stimulation coming at us from within the country, from within the continent, from across the world, such that the default setting now is not rest. The default setting now is stimulation. And we were not designed to be stimulated. When we were created, we were placed in a garden. We were not placed in a TV station or on a social media channel. We were created and placed in a garden. So one of the things that my most vivid picture of my uncle, the very, very last time that I remember seeing him, when we went to the river, it was during a time when the river was really, really full. And yet, as you stand on the edge, he could point out where Ngako was, because that area, the water is very turbulent, but in that area, the water looks like it's not moving. And I couldn't get that picture out of my mind. And so for me, from 2022, towards the end of 2020, but especially from 2022, it became a journey of returning. Because I came from a health system in Kenya where a patient walks in, I see them, they walk out, I'm done, to a system where I spend more time in front of the computer documenting to make sure the lawyers don't sue me than I spend in front of patients. And this health system has such a busy schedule that physicians, nurses, healthcare workers get burnt out, not because of the work itself, but because of what else you have to do just to protect your license. So it became a matter of survival. It determined everything in terms of whether or not I would even want to live here and practice medicine here. In 2026, the year you remember what matters, we've talked about simplicity. The second extremely irreplaceable concept is the concept or the practice or the idea, the lifestyle of rest. Be still and know. And be still, where be still is not something you do occasionally, it's something you choose to do on a consistent basis. So I'm going to share with you this practice, and then after that we will go into the coaching session. So this is what I want you to do. This is about breathing. In my vernacular, we call it Ayana. I don't know what you call it in your language. Can you type in the chat box what you call breathing? Like if someone says breathe, I used to, when I was at Kikuyu Hospital, I used to tell patients who here, I don't know how that is written. Who here? It's just, oh, I see that Paula. Kuhu here, yes. Ruth, I see Veva. Let's see which other one. Respira. Oh, yes, that's Portuguese, definitely. Who here? All right. So who here is winning the day? I think we need to have a who here sessions, and that's what we're about to have right now. So if you are ready to who here, I cannot pronounce what you've written. Kieng Ngangak, I have no idea. I don't know if that's a nga or a nga, but it's Kieng Ngangak, I presume, maybe close to that. Hefemula, okay, is Isabel. I've seen what you've shared. All right, so this is what you're going to do. Okay, when God created you and I, when God created the first human on earth, he breathed into them. That was the beginning of that person's life. At the end of your life, you breathe your last. And as a physician, I have been at the bedside when that happens. And it's one of the most sacred things you can witness when you see the last breath. So breath has power. I would like us to engage with breath today very briefly. So I want you to listen. This is what you will do, okay? You're going to breathe for 10 seconds or 10 breaths where you really go as deep as you can, but it's quickly. So it is Breathe in, out, breathe in, out, breathe in, out. It feels almost uncomfortable, okay? So for 10 seconds. And then the last one, so you breathe in, you breathe out, and you're breathing, you're trying to put in as much air as you can. Essentially, you're forcing air in, you force air out. And then at the last one, you will hold without breathing back in. And the goal is for you to hold it for 10 seconds. And I will count. Somebody has a question? Does someone have a question? I'm seeing a hand raised. I don't know whose hand is raised.
It's your hand.
Oh, it's my hand that is raised? Okay, I will bring it down. Okay, yes, so if you look at me, right? So the goal is for that breath to fill your belly and your chest. So you're actually breathing it in. It's all the way out. And then it's almost like two parts. It's like the first part of that air fills your belly, then the rest fills up your chest. Okay? Initially, everything will feel stiff, but it will come to a point when you begin to feel like it's relaxing. Okay? So that's 1, 2, up to 10. And then at the last one, it's out, and you breathe it out. At the last one, you breathe it out the natural way you are breathing it, but then you force all the air out. And then I will count up to 10. The goal is for you to hold it. You are going to feel like breathing in, but the goal is for you to hold until I get you to 10. So if you are ready, please give me thumbs up or show me. Thumbs up will be an easy way. Give me thumbs up. Let me see a few thumbs up to know that you are ready. Okay, all right, get ready then. So once I say go, I'll say 1, then I will count. All right. Okay, so position yourself, make sure your shoulders are upright, and then get ready, and we get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, out, 7, in, out, 8, in, out, 9, in, out, 10, in, out. Hold there. 1, 2, 3. With your mouth closed. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can breathe in, just breathe in your normal way. You will feel like you're dying, but I can promise you that you're not about to die. I know that that's what it feels like, because that's how it's supposed to feel. Okay, so just make sure you're taking in slow breaths, in, out. Just really breathe in and make sure you actually feel your lungs, because we are going to repeat it 2 more times. Okay? Did anybody feel like they're about to collapse? Because the next one we are going to try for 15. So you'll do 15 and then we will hold for 15. Okay, all right. So you ready? Show me thumbs up if you're ready. Okay, everyone ready? Okay, all right, then. So you get ready. So remember, you are trying to, you breathe in, it is fills in and then kind of spreads up, okay? And we will do it in a proper way where you will get into that rhythm where you actually easily feel it all. Now it's just getting you into the rhythm, okay? So get ready, and we will start as I say 1, and we go in. So let's get started. 1, 2, in, out. 3, in, out. 4, in, out. 5, in, out. 6, in, out. 7, 8, in, out. Deeper. 9, in, deeper. 10, in, out. 11, in, out. 12, in, out. 13, in, out. 14, in, out. 15, in, out. And then hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You can breathe. Oh my goodness. So by the end of Return 90, you'll be able to hold your breath for 45, count of 45. And it will change your nervous system completely, trust me. It will change your nervous system completely. Some of these things that keep troubling you up, you have the power to actually and all that power rests in your breath. All these triggers, the trigger comes up, you don't deny the trigger, you breathe into the trigger, and you can actually uproot it, or you actually discover where it comes from, because you are no longer running away from the trigger. Because if you can tolerate waiting for your breath to come back for the count of 25, right? You can hold on to that trigger until you know where it's coming from. So we'll do one more. We'll keep it at 15 so that nobody collapses. Okay. Give me your thumbs up when you're ready. Thumbs up, everyone, when you're ready. And we will do 15. We'll keep it at 15 for now. All right, fantastic. All right, let's get going. Just get ready. Take in a deep breath and just make sure you are positioned well, and then we get going. All right, so I'm going to start us off. So 1, in, out. Okay, so just hold on. I want you to lengthen them a little bit more. So in should be a bit more. Just make sure that you actually feel your belly, and then you feel the air rising up to feel the chest. So the goal is for you to feel the expansion spreading from your belly all the way to the upper chest. Okay? All right, so let's restart, and I'm going to start us off now. 1, in, out. 2, in, out. 3, with an open mouth. In, out. 4, in, out. 5, in, out. 6, in, out. 7, in, out. 8, in, out. 9, in, out. 10, in, out. 11, in, out. 12, in, out. 13, in, out. 14, in, out. 15, in, out. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold on. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Breathe out. Breathe in, rather. Okay, just breathe normal now. And I would like you to just type in the chat box what it felt like for you. What it felt like. I know that you didn't collapse. You felt like you're collapsing, but you won't collapse. Please share in your chat. We will move to the, we'll just have as many hot seat sessions as time would allow us. There's a good chance we will probably go just a little bit over. But let me see what your experience has been of that session. And then we move on. Okay, Esther dizzy, Isabel tired, Ipale refreshing, Wangui open, Gladys relaxing, Paula where? Yes, I had not thought of describing it like that, but I know what you're saying. Where with, and it's not just where. Okay, the third round was easier. Yes, so Jeff Cody, you're right. So the third round will be easier because we are working with 20% of your breath capacity right now. It feels like you are at the top, but you're not. You can hold your breath for up to 80, 90 seconds continuously but you have to build the capacity, and that's what we are doing. And the capacity you're building is not lung capacity, is regulating your nervous system, right? The Navy SEALs hold their breath underwater for 4 minutes. They are just like us. It's just that they have released their capacity and they get trained to hold their breath because in combat field, that is their power. That's how they can stay steady when everything is exploding around them, right? And we want to borrow that power and be able to stay steady when things are exploding around us. And during Return 90, if you actually engage in this practice, I can't wait to see what happens to you at the end of Return 90. Jinganda said it was refreshing. Shiro Wamwagi. It's Shiro. I've always said your name like that, Shiro Wamwagi. So yeah, and it was second time was easier. Nelly, life almost left me. Okay, I know what that feels like. Ruth yawned 4 times. Yes. So the yawn is that is just your upper tubes trying to balance themselves. And I saw a couple of you yawn, so I know. But that's because those areas have not been opened up intentionally like you just did right now. The Bridget, the first one was hard, subsequent ones were easier. So the subsequent ones are preparation because your goal is to get to 45 seconds, 60 seconds, holding your breath continuously for 60 seconds. Because so we are, let me tell you what we were doing there. We were activating the two systems at the same time. We are activating the sympathetic system and the parasympathetic system so that they don't activate, the trigger doesn't activate them by itself. So that it's not just your trigger that activates you, but you also learn how to actually activate both of them. And what it does is that you feel, does any of you feel both stimulated and relaxed at the same time? Right? Yeah, so that's the power. You are able to you activate both of them. Because when the trigger comes, the trigger activates your sympathetic nervous system, but you don't have the vagus, the parasympathetic to balance it out. So what breath does is it balances both of these for you. And this gives you power that is almost magical. So let me see one more. Nelly, I feel light and airy in my chest, right? You feel light. You feel light. That airy feeling is relaxation. That light feeling is like you feel stimulated in a positive way rather than an anxious way. I'm going to call for some volunteers. And Mercy, we haven't worked with you for a while, so this is going to be your opportunity now that you've breathed. I am going to have you join us for the hot seat. All right. Mercy Jelasho, welcome to the hot seat. How are you feeling, Mercy?
I'm feeling relief and what can I say, lighter in a sense. I feel that stimulation, but it's like happy news. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good news or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be one of the most important pieces, and I call it the Ayana method because this comes directly from my uncle, like literally, it just comes directly from my uncle. I was in medical school when crooks came to his house. He used to own a shop in not very far from my rural home, and unfortunately, that they attacked him. He was alone. They injured him, but then there was no one to help him. And that has remained one of the most painful things because I was in medical school. I was on call at night, saving patients when my uncle has been injured by criminals and he's actually losing his life alone. So,
Mm.
yeah, so I carry this as a legacy from him. Engako, in terms of remembering that obstacles, challenges create space for calm, but you have to find it. And this is one of the ways we find that calm. So tell me about your 2025. What have been the top 3 challenges or obstacles that you came across in 2025 as we cross the year?
Challenges and obstacles. So
The top 3.
yeah, I'm trying to think of this. So Obstacles. Hmm. Yeah, so mainly I think most one of the things that I had challenges was around consistency
Consistency,
of
okay?
the things I want to do. Um, yes, then agreeing, just committing to things I've not thought through about.
Okay.
And then yeah, just moving around without as a real solid plan and goal, just knowing I need to get my bare minimum is this and that and that. Yeah, those were one of the things I think I entered 2025 in with. I'm talking about them as the obstacles because I see how I've grown in those areas.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so those are my
which of those areas do you feel that it probably limited you the most? It doesn't have to be a right answer. It just has to be
decision
like
making,
something
decision making.
decision making. Okay. So
Yeah, just trusting myself with decisions.
can you share with us without going into the specifics, but a specific decision that you remember struggling with?
Mhm. Okay,
Or
most
is there a decision that is still sitting on your table, still unmade?
I think, yeah,
That
there are many. Okay, I'll talk about things like, for example,
yes,
when I made decisions around changing my lifestyle, in terms of food or what I'm consuming,
yes,
just making decisions on how I will take care of myself, on my nutrition, and going back and forth on I'll do this, then I don't, I'll do this, then I don't, like
yeah,
just not being able to make a decision and follow through to the end,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So let me tell you something about consistency, right? Consistency is
Mhm.
always underlain by the same need. And therefore, when you are not consistent in one area, whether you choose it or not, you will also find you're not inconsistent in other areas because whatever the need is, it shows up in the same flavor but in different circumstances across many areas. So the challenge for you is to figure out which need might be. It might be one core need or it might be one need layered on top of another. Variety has a tendency to layer itself on growth. Variety has a tendency to layer itself on certainty. So there can be like two needs that are kind of like sandwiching themselves, but usually one of them leads. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm trying to get a better clarity of any specific decision that you probably struggled with. Maybe that can open the door for us to actually see what might it be that is contributing to that pattern. Does anything?
Okay, I can't think of a specific one I'd like to share right now, but
Okay,
maybe what I can say from what we've even discussed during these 5 days is the big
yeah,
thing that has stood out. The one thing I've seen that bothers me the most is significance. Though
significance. Okay,
I've kind of
yeah,
worked through I've seen some layers of variety, of certainty, but the
yeah.
one that I keep going back to is significance.
Okay.
Mm.
So we are already at maybe it's June 2026. You're looking
Mhm.
back to 2025. And
Mhm.
you can only describe it in one word and tell me what it felt like. So tell me, what did 2025 feel like? You're looking back, you're not here in 2025, you've already moved on, you're looking back. What did 2025 feel like?
2025 felt like a lot of awareness and various spaces of growth in my life.
Hmm.
However,
Yeah,
internally, I still feel, based on what we did these 5 days, I feel like I'm still doing performance. I'm in performance. I'm trying to please. This still, I'm not here.
okay, yeah. Certainty, variety, significance, growth, love and connection, growth, and contribution. Which need would you say you felt was fulfilled the most in this year, 2025?
Growth.
Growth, okay?
Mm.
Why?
Okay. For one, one thing I was able to conquer is consistency, and consistency in areas I have never been able to. This whole year I've worked out. This only have shown up for what we've been doing as morning reset with the ladies we started with. This year I've always woken up to plan my day and reflect in the evening. And that has given me like I've grown in my physical journey, I've grown in my work journey, how I structure my day, how I set up goals and do them. I kind of have a path I'm following, and it's clear. I have grown in my spiritual journey, in my mindset. I've intentionally read books, and that has made me realize more of who I am. And I realize, and one of the things I've seen that I've been able to ground myself, especially like around like addictive habits that I had been using to survive, like so many things I was on to repeat.
Yeah.
Even how I used to conduct my social life, how to distract myself, those kind of things have dropped, and I'm grateful for that a lot. Yeah. However, there's still inner voices that are.
We'll come to the inner voices. So
Yes.
I want
Okay.
everybody that is listening, I want you to go to the chat box. And because you've shared something so valuable, I want everyone just go to the chat box. What need, I don't want you to be influenced by what she labeled. But I want just Mercy. I want you to outline the things that the things that have been different this year. And everyone, as soon as she's done outlining the things, I want you to go to the chat box and type what need do you feel is the strongest the most aligned with what she's talking about. So, do you mind reviewing again, just very briefly, the key things that have been different for you this year?
So this year I've been able to activate consistency because I've shown up for my exercise throughout the
Yeah.
year since January. I have been part of a group of ladies who we do morning reset with, and
Yeah.
setting up the day daily. So I'm able to reflect on each day and set up goals that I'm able to walk and work through and review, drop what I don't need to drop according to what I've planned for, at least per day
Yeah.
and per season. I have been able to build, to work on my spirituality through church, through
Yeah.
prayer, through
Yeah.
reading my Bible. I've also been able to read books, which is something I've not done I hadn't done in over 20 years. Literally studying books. One of them is Embody with the same ladies and other groups I've had for book
Yeah.
studies.
I want you to stop
Yeah, I've
there.
been able to. Yeah.
I want you to stop there because
Okay.
I know the mercy that showed up for momentum, the first momentum that you came to. I know
Yeah.
that mercy, and I see this mercy, and I think the two of you need to meet and have an introduction. The two of you.
Yeah.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so for everyone else, please go to the chat box and type out what needs did you hear come out? What needs did she meet that came out? Everybody, please go. I see certainty and growth. That's from Paula. Wanjiku Gadara, I see growth. Variety, certainty, growth. I play. Variety and growth. Certainty and connection. Significance. Okay, I'll wait maybe for two more. Then we'll move on. At the count of 5. Okay, variety and growth. I'll wait for one more. Variety and growth. Growth. Okay, growth. Okay, so thank you everyone for your responses. Okay, so if you walked outside and you saw a tree and it has branches and it has leaves, right? What would you presume this tree must have for those leaves and branches to be present? What do you
Nice.
suspect might be under the ground?
Oh yeah. The roots have reached where there's water.
Yes, yes, that's right. The roots have reached where it's water. We can say that is a really significant tree, which means it's a big tree, right? Every
Mm,
time we say, oh, that is a really significant tree, look at
mm.
how those branches are intertwined, which means those branches are loving and connected to each other. Everything everything starts with certainty and variety. If you went to the gym and you did exactly the same thing, no matter how much you love the gym, you would lose that experience. So the one thing I know, even if I took one of the areas that you remained consistent throughout, there was both certainty and variety, because the foundation of your growth is certainty and variety. You have to meet those needs before you move up. You must
Okay.
meet those needs. So you met those needs. You met those needs. Consistency is, first of all, meeting your certainty. And you meet your certainty by taking the younger Mercy, the 6-year-old, 7-year-old Mercy, and using her ideas. Her ideas are very simple. We will reflect every evening, period. And then the older Mercy comes and says, we will reflect evening, but I need to get multicolored diary, and I need to subscribe to an app. I need to upgrade my phone to iPhone, the latest, right? That is the older Mercy speaking. The younger Mercy
Yeah.
is like, we don't need anything complex. Just need a pencil and a paper, right? Simplicity. Once you release the younger Mercy knows how to enjoy simple things. You're
Yeah.
drinking a cup of coffee and she's like, oh, this is amazing. We are drinking coffee today.
Yeah.
But then there you are seated like, why am I drinking this coffee? I should be in Java. That is because that is
Yeah.
the older Mercy, right?
Yeah.
The younger Mercy is impressed that we have a smartphone. Do you remember when we used to play with a football made of plastic and the string,
Soft.
right? Yeah, so I know without a doubt that in 2025, you met your need for certainty to a very large extent. And that need was balanced with sufficient variety so that you could remain consistent. You will never remain consistent if you don't have sufficient variety balancing your certainty, because that is the roots. And once you have the roots, then now we can grow a significant tree, a tree that has connection, a tree that has branches and leaves, which is growth and it's extending, and a tree that has fruits, that which is contribution. So all these are the four: significance, love and connection, growth and contribution. They grow on the foundation of the roots. And when you look at the tree's roots, those roots don't look the same. You see the roots, which is the certainty, but they all look different, which is variety. I will tell you, Mercy, I'm going to look back to some of the hot seats. I know that we had hot seats with you. We had a hot seat with Shiro Wabwangi, with Gladys, with Wambu. I will look back and see which ones I can find from those old ones. I will tell you right now, we need to arrange a meeting between Mercy 2021 and Mercy 2025.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to see what Mercy end of 2026 would look like, okay?
Thank you.
What is I think for you, I think wrapping up for you is really going to be very, very simple. This is my pathway for you if I was in your shoes, based on where you are today, okay? There have to be two voices at any time when you're making decisions. Those two voices are going to be Mercy 2025 and Mercy 1992. Very young Mercy that is not bombarded by all this social media, that is able to actually see what is, because certainty is about the simple, specific, repeatable things. Once that form the grounding, then everything else can grow on top of that. 2025 is the year you remember what matters. And if what matters is what is simple but repeatable, you will not recognize yourself by the end of 2025. That's my challenge to you. How identify what these ingredients are in everything that you are going to pursue. The conversation about what goals to set will be totally separate, but once the goal is identified, that goal must be subjected to how does it meet your needs, because if it doesn't meet your needs, it is going to drop out of your life. And it meets your needs by giving you something that you are committed to, that you are able to do consistently. If you are able to do it consistently, then now you can add variety. Because if you add variety where there is no consistency, you create chaos. Variety with no consistency is not variety, it's chaos. You cannot be spontaneous if you don't have a system. So people who say, oh, I am spontaneous, I don't need a system. No, you are chaotic, you're dramatic, right? If you are spontaneous, right? You're spontaneous. I can only notice your spontaneity because it's deviating from something that you do every day. Then I'm like, she usually does this, or today she spontaneously did something else. But if you are always spontaneously doing things, I'm like, oh, she's dramatically doing things. Today she's consistent, which is surprising, right? So at the very, very first need you have to meet, which you have met to a huge extent in 2025, is consistency, okay? So for everyone, Gladys will be the lead person for the House of Mastery, leading the daily reset, which she has consistently done. And I promise you, nothing is going to transform your life more in 2025 than participating consistently in the daily reset. It is the single most important thing that you're going to do in 2026. Actually, I've been saying 2025, 2026 is be part of an accountability group that holds you to the same motivation you have at the beginning of January throughout the rest of the year. It will change your life. And I'm speaking to you having essentially gone through that system. 2014, I remember 2014 April, I'm seated in an apartment in Jamhuri in Nairobi with nothing in my hands, big dreams in my heart, nothing in my hands. Then I set a goal, I set a dream, and it changed everything. I've seen a question from Ipali. So the daily reset is a component that we have run through all the challenges. You meet every day and you reset your day. You start the day afresh. You start the day as if you're in a new season. You forget about what happened yesterday. That's the daily reset. The daily reset is resetting the day so that this day does not depend on the previous days. It gives you new power to move forward. What has been your biggest takeaway from this hot seat? And I hope that the temperature is okay in your room where you are, because it's been a hot seat. What has been your biggest takeaway for you?
For me, it's this the simplicity, and I could see how those we were able to simplify things together in the morning resets. Like when you make a big promise for yourself. So in the morning when you're reporting, you realize you overburdened yourself. So it was breaking down to the simpler and simpler things. Imagine starting from a time when you're saying, I'll do 11 things, to coming back to now a day, my focus is on 3 items. So simplicity is what I'm taking with me today, and just breaking down my goals and plans to the simplest form, to what my 7-year-old self would tell me. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We forget that we lived most of our, like for so many years, we lived in that version. That version led us here. And then we come up with this sophisticated person that wants to do 20 things, but they never do the 20 things. The same to-do lists that were there in 2021, some of them are still on your to-do list today, because that's what we do to ourselves. So I want to thank you again, Mercy. Thank you for coming on. I am inspired by your journey. I will continue watching you. We have a lot of work to do with you this coming year. So let's go for it. Everybody, please go to the chat box before we go to the next participant. Please, can you type out what has been your key takeaway? And please, can I see your hands clapping in terms of the sounds for Mercy? Thank you, Mercy. And please go to the chat box. What's your key takeaway before we move to the next person? What's your key takeaway? Go to the chat box, please, and share what's your key takeaway. This is how we learn from each other. I read these takeaways after the meetings are over, so please give me something to read. Whenever the meetings are over, this is one of the things that I read. So give me your takeaways. I've seen Gladys, be consistent, be simple, think like the 9-year-old self. Absolutely. Absolutely. Paula, keep it simple. Yes, simplicity is key. Step one remains to be consistent. Yes. Growth is anchored on simple, repeatable habits. Absolutely. Foundation of your growth is certainty and variety. You need to satisfy those two first because those are the roots. The roots don't look the same, but the roots are present. The first must be present before they can be different because certainty is the foundation of everything. There has to be two voices whenever you're making decisions, the young one and the you now. There has to be two voices. Thrive to make sure the simple with consistency, absolutely variety and certainty are the roots of growth. Simplicity builds consistency, simplicity, rest, and breath. Esther, that's a beautiful point to close that. I see Shiro Wabwangi, accountability is what will get you where you are going. Consistency transforms everything, bringing growth. Absolutely. Jinganda says simplicity and certainty. One need connects to the other. Thus, the need to balance them all. We will end that there. I'm going to call on our next volunteer to the hot seat, and that's going to be Isabel, coming all the way from Mozambique. Consistency is key, says Chipkoni. Good morning, Isabel.
Good morning, Dr. Mogire.
It's
It's
been
a
a long
pleasure
time.
to be with
Yes.
you again.
Pleasure to be with you too. The last time we saw you face to face was during the launch of Embody in Nairobi.
Body, yes.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, I thank God.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
So for you, I want you to close your eyes. Okay. Close your eyes, and I want you to take 3 really slow breaths. Breathe in and breathe out. We are not here. There's nobody seeing you. Just breathe in. Like really breathe out until you feel like all the air is out and just relax. Okay. Okay. So I want you to listen inside. Okay. And I want you to know one thing that is true this moment for you. With no noise from outside, with no input from outside, other than my voice, which has to come because you're on the hot seat. Yeah, so I want you to know one thing, probably a couple more things will come to your mind, but maybe like the truest one thing that is true this moment, true for you, true about you, true about your life, true about this moment. Okay.
I'm stressed.
So I need you to just continue, like really breathe in, out. Just breathe in, out. I want you to listen. You've shared something that some people will not even share openly, okay? And I want you to see, where do you feel it?
Where?
Yeah, where do you feel it? I don't want you to search for it. I want you to notice. So just breathe, slowly breathe in and out and actually see. The body has all the answers right now.
I think in the stomach.
In the stomach, okay? What does it feel like? Does it feel like weight? Does it feel like pressure? Does it feel like tightness? Does it
Pressure.
feel like pressure? Okay. Okay, so your body is able to experience everything, okay? Everything. I want you to look back to 2025. Can you find a moment when you are really, really, really happy?
Yes.
Okay? I want you to go back to that moment. Get a picture of that moment.
Mhm.
Are you there? Can you hear the voices, the sounds, the music, or the movements of the people? Okay?
Yes.
So you can see the moment, but I want you to feel the moment. Does that moment register somewhere in your body?
I think in my heart.
In your heart. Okay. All right. How does it feel? Does it feel the same heavy, tight, like pressure, hard, or does it feel soft, light? Is it easy or what does it feel like, in other words?
Easy.
Easy. Okay. So I want you to take in like 2-3 breaths, just slow. In, out, in, out. In, out, okay? And I want you to try to feel both of them at the same time. Can you feel both the moments when you are really, really happy and also the current moment? Can you feel that tension between the two? That there is something heavy at the same time, there is something light in your body.
Strange.
Yes. Yes. So the word is strange, but you realize that the word is not new because it's not a new feeling. It's just a strange feeling. And sometimes it's strange because you are now consciously paying attention to it. Because this is something I feel, something all of us feel, except we move between one to the other. And sometimes one takes precedence. We are more aware of one than the other. And yet they are always present at the same time. I want you to go back to the heavy feeling in your belly, okay? I want you to feel it becoming slightly heavier than it is. Feel like it's becoming a bit heavier. And then suddenly it's kind of like shrinking. It's becoming smaller and smaller. And it's becoming smaller. And then I want you to come back to where you felt that moment, the very happy moment. The other one is kind of becoming smaller still. Is this the happy moment that you have? Can you make it bigger? Can it be bigger, louder, more intense? The point you actually feel it almost vibrating in you. All right,
It's
open your
making my
eyes.
back to be cold.
It's making your back to feel cold?
Yes.
Okay.
All around.
All right, okay. All right, so I want you to break the energy from there, okay? Shake your body, open your eyes, come back. Okay?
Yes.
So what did it feel like now? Just describe it consciously to us when you actually paid attention to. Did you notice it immediately, or did it take you a moment to actually notice where each of those two different feelings were?
It took me a moment. It
Took
took
you a
me a
moment, yeah,
moment.
right?
Yes.
So
Just
so that is
slowly.
I think that is the work, and that is not just for you, that's for everyone. That's the work. That when I read, I believe in the Bible with all my heart. When I read the Bible, I find that most of those stories in the Bible, there's something hidden in there that may not have been as literal as we take it, right? If you find the verse that says, "Be still and know," it is being said to
I know.
someone who is in a cave. Like there's nothing else around them. Be still and know, right? They're being told. So it's like simple commands like this. I think they carry some significance beyond the surface level that we see them. And I believe 2026, the year you remember what matters, it's about simplicity. And one of those elements of simplicity is listening and actually knowing what your body is telling you. Because your body knows your needs. Your body knows your needs. Sometimes we are pushing the body beyond where it needs to be pushed, but your body knows exactly what is going on, right? You recognizing that you are stressed, there is nothing that can be more powerful and more freeing than that. Because then, now we can identify what is the source of the stress. I want everyone to go to the chat box and let's just consider this question. What is the most common source of stress? Let me ask the question differently. Which need, when it's not met, is most likely to lead to stress? Everyone go to the chat box and just type it out. Which need, when it is not met, is most likely to lead to stress? Everyone good? I see you, Mercy. Certainty. Gladys, certainty. Could we have a couple more before we move? Nelly, certainty. I see you. Ipale has given us a different Sally connection. Eunice, certainty. Mary, love and connection. All right. So thank you for those responses. Okay. So this is an additional layer that we haven't talked about. Okay. So certainty and variety are the foundation, right? Variety comes to spice up certainty, but if there is one need that you absolutely must meet, it is certainty. Every single time you are stressed, just say, I am not certain about, or I am uncertain about. So it is at the core, it is certainty. Are there any specific areas right now that you are struggling with that need? Are there any unpredictable elements? It's usually unpredictable or things that are not in your control, or responsibilities that things you're responsible for, but you don't have total control in terms of how they turn out. Or it's those areas where certainty is important, but the agency, the ability to influence or determine the outcome is not necessarily within your control. Are there any things that you identify that might fall within these categories or anything close to that?
Yeah, they are.
Anything? Can you just tell us what you are able to share?
Mm. There are things that I would like to control, but I can't. I just pray and wait. There is something that is going on with they are connected. Something going on
Yes.
with the work of my husband that
Yes.
is influencing the way he behaves, and the
Yes.
way he behaves, it comes to me, then it creates me stress.
Yeah, you've touched on. So when I'm reading these responses here, I see love and connection. I see growth. I see some of the other areas come on, because the only need that has the power to contaminate all the other needs is certainty. That's because the tree can only receive what the root absorbs from the soil. So the only need that has the power to influence everything else and contaminate everything else is certainty, right? Such that what happens in your relationships can influence what happens in your certainty. What happens in your contribution, maybe, I know you're very active in church, right? You go to church, you speak to the women group, or maybe you preach, or you speak to the youths, but your contribution doesn't feel appreciated, right? It leaves a question. It can make you question your certainty in terms of, did I not prepare well? Am I not designed for this work? Are they not appreciating my contribution, right? So the one need, it's just think of the tree. Everything that the branch receives, everything that goes into the fruits, where does it have to come from? The roots. What's in the roots? Primarily, it is certainty and variety. So for you, being able to identify what the truth is in this moment, that is one of the most important things. The year of remembering what matters is the year of remembering what is true at every moment in your life. Remembering, being able to not only remember, but also to read what is true. What is true for me in my body right now? Sometimes we become triggered because we are not even aware that we are stressed. Because if you're stressed, you're like kerosene. You're waiting to be lighted up like this. Right? If you're not aware, you are kerosene walking around. You're like, nobody has a match here. I'm ready to be lighted up. But when you are aware, you are like, okay, I'm going to put this polythene cover right? I know why I am stressed. If it is someone with whom I need to communicate so that they can start be, behaving differently, responding to me differently, then I can communicate with them. It's that awareness opens up the portal, opens up the power for you to influence so many things in terms of what happens. Okay, so 2026, if you could pick one emotion that would be the predominant emotion for you in 2026, what would that emotion be?
Can I call it emotion? Joy.
Joy, okay.
Mhm.
Why?
Um, because joy is the gift or the feeling that you doesn't depend on the circumstance of the situation, you know. You know who you are, you know what is going on.
Yeah,
It will not shake you.
okay.
Nothing will come
So,
to shake you.
so your challenge is, how do you pull joy from a feeling to a level of certainty? What are the things that you can control and you commit in advance that these are things I'm going to do with joy? That is how you have to be able to take it from wherever it is and bring it down to certainty and variety. Whatever emotion you want to be your predominant emotion in 2026, it has to show up in certainty and variety, because those are the roots. And once it shows up there, then it can spread to significance, it can spread to love and connection, it can spread to growth and contribution.
Okay.
Actually have
I think
a different assignment for you, okay? So
mhm.
it's the Isabel hot seat is the hot seat of closing eyes and breathing. So I want you to close your eyes
Okay.
and breathe. Yeah, so just close your eyes and breathe, right? I want you to go back to that moment when you were really happy, the happy moment that you had, okay?
Mhm.
And this time round, you're not just showing up to that moment, you're showing up as an artist. And you are showing up with an artist who has a brush that is going to change that moment. You want to paint that moment with 100% more joy. And it's not
Mhm.
100% more joy in the people around you, but in terms of what you feel. Okay? So you're back in that moment. Can you see yourself back there?
Mhm.
Can you feel the joy that you had at that time?
Yes.
What would 50% more joy feel like? I want you to see whether your body is able to respond with like that sensation of experiencing 50% more joy in the same moment. So now let's not be ambitious. Let's just make it 100% more. All right. So where that joy is in the heart, I want it to now spread out. Feel as though it's like a wave and it's kind of spreading all the way to your neck, all the way to your head, and it's kind of spreading down to your waist and it's going down all the way to your knees. Do you feel that?
Mhm. There is a stop.
There's a stop somewhere. Okay? So that's
Mhm.
your work. Start the work. Because right now the joy is free, right? The joy is
Mhm.
free, but there's a frozen somewhere. There's a frozen element somewhere. That frozen element will always be the cup, right? Such that even imagining joy is limited because there is something frozen.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, I know if I gave you the same exercise, but I'm giving you the chance to imagine being stressed, I think there is probably the cup might be very far. And that is for all of us, right? It's
Okay.
it's it's you guys here have no idea how amazing I am. If I want to create like being stressed, I need Hollywood cameras to come, and because I can show them what it needs, what it feels like. So I think that's your work, Isabel. And for anyone else who would want to pick that, it's pick a core positive emotion that you actually want to feel in 2026, one that matters to you the most. The goal is to train your nervous system to be able to produce it without other people, to be able to produce joy, to be able to produce confidence when you are alone. Because if you have never experienced it when you are alone, it doesn't matter what happens around you, you will never be able to experience it with other people. Because we know how to experience fear. We have PhDs that haven't been awarded for how to experience worry. Anxiety, we have a highway that leads there. It's like, actually, it's a super highway. We've already subscribed. We have that fob. When we go through, we just go through this. We don't even stop because we are headed for worry. We are not running late. We are always on time, right? It is now choosing a positive, freeing emotion. And as we do the Ayana practice, which is the breath practice, it starts to train your nervous system to respond to what you want so that you can gradually unfreeze some of those frozen elements. Thank you, Isabel, for agreeing to the hot seat. I am going to ask everyone, let's go to the chat box. What's your key takeaway from the segment with Isabel? Thank you again, Isabel.
Asante sana.
Chat box, please. Everyone, chat box. Chat box, please, everyone. Chat box. Chat box. It's time to bring back Mercy and Isabel. Mercy, think about it. What was your key takeaway from Isabel's session? Isabel, what was your key takeaway from Mercy's session? Let's start with Mercy.
I think the biggest for me, especially with what the process you've done with Isabel, is just identifying that emotion that's most important, going through the similar process, and then now identifying that freeze, like doing the work for that. Because I noticed, like, when Isabel was getting happy, then suddenly there was a flat, and I was like, what's going on? And then she says, "I'm frozen." So I think we all have that in different ways, and it's actually easy to do the bad emotions. Even, I mean, if you told me to be angry, it's not hard to express it because I had done it so much in my past. So
Yeah.
it's just now turning that around to the positive. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah. Thank you, Mercy. Yeah, let's go to Isabel.
Okay. Regarding mercy is consistency. Yeah, consistency can transform everything. If you are committed and you are consistent, grow, it's sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And I've seen, I was waiting to see if anyone would pick it. Several people have picked, starting with Jean Ganda, that Isabel, you are absolutely authentic, that everyone that was watching you could feel what you are feeling. And it was just so freeing. I could feel what you're feeling, and I could read it from your face, and then you're like, I feel it in your belly. I'm like, yeah, yes, that's what I saw already. So I really thank you for that. I see there's so many beautiful reflections, and now I wanted to bring in an involuntary volunteer called Gladys. You are highlighted already, Gladys. What's your key
Oh,
takeaway
really? Thank you. I'm here.
from both of them?
the key takeaway is that we really don't know how much we need to do until we start. And we don't know what we are missing until we're able to see the other side of the coin. When we are able to identify the gap, is it certainty, is it growth? When we're able to pick that and then go back to where did it start? Where did we get blocked? And then now I think I love the breathing exercise because it allows me to know that I actually have the power within me. I just haven't tapped into it yet. I haven't tapped into how to hold my breath. Therefore, I've not even tapped into how to move my emotion from the negative spectra that we've been trained for so long to the other side of the spectra. And I can't wait to do the work on myself. Really. Yeah.
I'm so grateful that you guys have been really, really authentic. Thank you, Gladys. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you, everyone else. We have amazing reflections in the chat box. Shiro, I see it's so amazing how our default is on negative emotion and how to rewire ourselves to the positive emotions we want to feel. The word says, be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. By the renewal of your mind. In other words, what is it that you mind automatically? In other words, where does your mind go automatically? Be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind. It is not an intellectual renewal. It's a renewal in rewiring of the nervous system, because the nervous system dictates everything. Be renewed by, and then the other one that I spoke about is be still and know. Be still and know. If you are still and you know the truth will set you free. Those are probably like several verses stringed together, but you get it. The power is all within me. That's Paula. Consistency transforms everything, bringing growth. Eunice, it's totally an insider job. Yes, it's an insider job. Close your eyes and start doing the insider job. Reading the person. Because sometimes we are like, she looked at me with so much, she despised me. But what were you feeling at that time? You have no idea. You have no idea what was going on, such that you became so vulnerable. It's because you were ignorant of what is going here. Ignorant in terms of ignoring. I'm not just using a negative word for any reason, but you are subconsciously ignoring what's going here, and then you're just susceptible to everything going on in the world. Mary, it's good to feel and acknowledge our feelings, positive or negative. Train your nervous system to experience the emotion you want. Joy, love, that's Ipale. Thank you for being so vulnerable. Yes, Wangoi Kangeda says that, and somebody else had said you are so authentic. That's Jinganda. Yes, absolutely, Isabel. Absolutely, Mercy. You are authentic and vulnerable. I thank you all. And now I would like to hand over to our master of ceremony. Then after that, we will finish off with knowing who else has joined Return 90, which is starting in a couple of weeks. Back to you, Gladys.
Gentlemen and ladies, let's appreciate our coach for giving us a taste of what we will be doing on Return 90. It's been an interesting morning. We haven't heard from the gentleman in the house. Is there any gentleman in the house? What is your feedback? I can't get any name on my radar. Bore, is that a gentleman? I am reading a surname, so I'm not sure if it's a gentleman or not. Is Boreas a gentleman? Bore, please unmute.
I think he's a gentleman.
Oh, karibu sana. Let's hear from you on this bonus day. What's your take home?
I think it's transformative. It's connecting the little dots that has been lying somewhere, but we were not aware that it just needs that connection. So I think our doctor is able to inspire that path and get us to know what is this missing thing. And now I think from my side, I have clarity on what is this thing that is needed for the path to be complete. So yeah, that's a reflection from my side. Thank you.
Bora, you've attended any other session of House of Mastery, or this your first?
No, I haven't. And
You
I joined
haven't, Karib.
a little
So
bit late, so I got the benefits of listening the last speaker, like the outset.
please make sure to sign up to Return 90 and you will get the benefits of it. Let's get Daktari back to guide us on the registration for Return 90. Karibu, Doc. Back.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gladys. So Return 90, my goal was to sign up 15 people. We already have 12 people that have expressed interest, including Gladys. So we probably don't have too many spots. I have no doubt that this would be one of the best things that you would do in 2026. And it took a lot of reflection for me to actually decide to offer it. And that's because of how much I know it will take out of me to be able to run it, to be available for the 90 days. And it's, if you hear, or it's 45,000 and it sounds like a lot of money, trust me, I know that it couldn't be any cheaper than that. And you will look back. You will look back without a doubt and know that it doesn't matter what program you've gone through. Sometimes I feel like I need to be cautious when I say it like that, but I say it with as much conviction as I can, that it doesn't matter what program you've gone through. There would probably be nothing similar to the experience you will have accumulated at the end of 90, the Return 90. So do not wait to make the decision later. I am reviewing the forms. So far, I've gone through more than half of the people that had already applied, and I see that everyone meets all the crucial requirements that I need. And the most important one is the willingness to commit, and also the willingness to be open and to actually open to do the work, because it's, trust me, 100%. This is not, I'm not trying to earn money from doing this program. And I don't know how else to say it. Like, if I wanted to earn money, I would start another program here in the US. But I have a burden to actually do this work in East Africa specifically. And so join Return 90. It is a 90-day program. We will have a daily reset. Gladys is on throughout those daily resets, and I will be available. We will have 3 components. One of them is what you've heard about here called the Ayana practice, which is the breath practice. Okay. Then we have two more components that I haven't talked to you about. One of them is called Imoka. Imoka practices, they are labeled with my indigenous origin just because of they have a core, like, true connection that I will never be able to get rid of, that I've eventually had to honor. But those 3, I don't know how to say it. This program is going to change your life in ways that you've never imagined, period. This program is going to change your life in ways that you have never imagined. And I don't care which program you've attended before. I will give that promise boldly and then ask you about it at the end of the program to see what has happened. You're listening to someone who used to stutter. I used to stutter so much. My age mates in high school used to joke that I should become a rapper because I couldn't get through one word without tripping on myself. And yet here I am. I was the last person that was ever meant to become a public speaker. When I came to Moi University, Moi University Medical School. I came from a school called Kerongorori SDA Mixed Secondary School. I was the first person to go to medical school. It's a name that I usually joke that you have to sit down, swallow your saliva, take a deep breath before you can say Kerongorori, right? And I look back, and someday I will be able to share the full story of actually what happened to lead me to where I am today. I I think I went through so much pain so that I would be positioned to do this kind of work, such that for me, working as a cardiologist is like Paul making tents so that he can be able to preach, he can be able to actually do transformative work. And when I'm doing this work, I am most alive. I feel at home doing this work. So if you're able to join Return 90 before we close those remaining slots, it's only 45,000. I am charging 1,500 for 60 days in the program that we are doing here in the US. And I have been reflecting and thinking whether or not I want to continue doing these programs in the US, because the programs in East Africa are truly my primary focus in terms of helping people. So I welcome you to join Return 90. I think Gladys, you had shared the link in the chat box. Find the
Yes.
link in the chat box and sign up. I can't wait to see what we are able to do together